All right. So so let's start. Let's start. So right here we see Fusion. They're gonna play a Orisa Brawl comp, and what that really means is that like usually when you see Orisa, you think, hey, they're gonna like just run like heavy poke. They're gonna run Ash. They're gonna run Echo. They're gonna run what else? Hanzo. They're gonna run maybe Widow. They're gonna run what other ones are notable? Sometimes far, sometimes far. But right here they're running Kree, and Kree's like sure range poke. Like Kree does do a bit of range poke, but it's not great at long ranges. Kree's really just somewhere in the middle between like a brawl and like just a pure poke hero. Like Kree's like a mid range hero. That's what I have to say. So right here Kree and like Orisa and like to a lesser extent Bap, what they're going to do is they're going to like look to force the point, and they're going to look to just force Dynasty to walk onto point and like subject themselves to damage from these three players mainly. And like the function of Diva and like Tracer in this comp is to provide, you know, kind of like to kind of like hold space and to provide some sort of support. So right here, what Carpe is gonna do, what Hotba's gonna do, is going to try to mark Marvel, try to like enforce space so that Fitz can't just like take any angle he wants for free, and like all what he's gonna do is he's just going to like try to restrict these players from getting into the back line, being very annoying, taking really good poke angles to poke out Fusion's backline mainly, and like yeah, they're just going to kind of be the enforcers. Oh, hi, Gaming with Boosh, how's it going? Or like I'll just call you Boosh, if that's your nickname or whatever. Um, Anyways, thanks for tuning in. So we're going to see like Carpe and Hotba. They're mainly just. Let me move this. I'm doing. Yep, that's good. That's good. So we're gonna see Carpe and Hotba. They're just really going to be like enforcers of space. They're gonna like make sure Fusionist flanks are pretty safe, and like since Dynasty like they made a trade off with this comp, they're running Ana. They're not running Zen. So like you can't really force Carpe and Hotba easily out easily. If they had Zen, then they don't have as much healing, but at least with Zen, like you can Discord a Hotbike and Discord Carpe, can send to you to try to like clear those players, and they can win the 1v1 with a Discord and Harmony. But right here they're running the Ana, which increases this comp's ult power, but just in my opinion, it reduces the amount of ult neutral power that this comp has. Because Ana, one of her main strengths is literally her nano. Nano is a good ult, better than trans. So well, they have their like niches, but generally speaking, nano gets more value than trans. So because like the thing with trans is just that like use trans, you don't have Zen. Like Zen is the reason you play Zen, not the ult. Zen himself, his Discord is so powerful. So like if you just use trans, like if you just like use trans, then where's the Discord? Like you can place the Discord beforehand, but whatever. But like trans isn't as good as an ult as like a lot of people think, because like it just removes like Zen in himself, and Zen himself is the reason you play Zen. So let's look at Dynasty's comp. It's really interesting. So they're running the Ashe, they're running a Pharah, they're running like really heavy spam, and like one thing you have to realize is that like a comp is not just you know pure brawl, pure spam or poke. I like to call it poke a lot because because that's what it is, and like it's not pure dive. Like a brawl comp is players who actually do the damage, players who actually absorb the aggression, and like a couple players supporting that win condition. A poke comp is not, well, at least good poke comps. They're not just like six heroes that do a lot of damage. They're like a couple heroes that do a lot of damage, and like there are a couple players supporting. And finally, a dive comp is not just a dive comp. A dive comp is either like a dive comp consists of like tank, like Winston Ball, or and like some sort of damage. So like we have Echo, we have Tracer, we have Genji, but like you also need players who help like enforce space, like Diva. That's why like Double Bubble is like a really greedy comp. Double Bubble is like, hey, we want the damage, we want more damage. Like we already have damage, but we want more damage. And then like the thing is, you don't have like you already have enough damage. Winston and Tracer can burst down a squishy if you're good enough. If you're good enough at like coordinating. Well, so like you want to go heroes that have more utility. You want to go heroes that can enforce space. You want to go heroes that can like peel and pressure and help like the divers actually survive. Well, let's say this is Winston. Let's say this is Tracer. Then you want to have like Diva like help enforce space and like help DM Winston in or help peel, help like win the flank duel on Tracer. So and like obviously you're also gonna need like supports and like dive is really like backline oriented because like if your backline doesn't isn't in a good position, your whole dive just fails. That's I'll have to say. So I mean that's kind of the same with every comp, but except poke maybe you can sometimes win just get a lucky pick or two. You don't need like a lot of like support. Supports are useful, but like one of the benefits of poke is just that like you can run like supports like Mercy, Zen, like those types of damage boosting heroes. So like right here, Dynasty are not gonna run the Orisa. Like usually you would see like Orisa Sigma maybe, but like teams are preferring to run more hybrid comps. And why is that? Why is that? Because you know like you have Pharah, you have this is already a pretty greedy comp. Like you have like an Ashe, you have like a Pharah, you have like a Mercy. That's already like a lot of damage. But like if you just run like even more damage, then it makes it really hard. It makes it really easy for your fusion to just like hide somewhere and try like just passively force the point. And their mid range their mid range potential is better than like would be better than like just an Ashe and a Pharah even. So like the reason why like you don't see like teams just run like Orisa, Sigma, and like bunch of like poke heroes is because like and like the reason why like these hybrid comps with ball even in poke comps are getting more popular, it's because they provide a lot of utility. Same with Diva as well. Diva doesn't do a lot of damage compared to Sigma, but Diva can peel, which you like is a must-have against dive. Diva can enforce space really quickly, which helps give some breathing room for Fits mainly, not Profit. Well, can DM like barrages and stuff, but give some breathing room for Fits, give some breathing room for creative, and then like Ball Ball can like burst down targets with Profit, and actually Bar is actually a really good burst damage hero, and you can also you can like Far's like more on the poke side, sure, but like with the new FAR changes, you can actually play a lot closer than you used to be because you have more control over your vertical mobility. Believe it or not, it's a myth that like FAR like lacks in like vertical control compared to Echo because FAR has a lot of vertical control. Like FAR's like field regens really quickly now, despite being at a lower capacity. So you can just keep flying up and down. Can brawl with this like Kree, for example, with your ball, and then like when they're starting to look at you, your field's back. You just fly back up and like re-stabilize on the high ground. And then like once you have your field back, you go for another like burst of damage. You go back and you spam and all that good stuff. So like we have the burst damage, and that's why like Ball and Pharah are a pretty good combo. And also we have like the ability to play slow, play like on an angle, just spam the backline a bit with your primary fire, annoy the backline, and roll through and try to open some opportunities for your team. And but like you don't have to power drive to get value. Ball can get value beyond just like going for that burst of damage. So let's take a look at like how these teams play. So right here, and like the reason why like Fusion aren't running the Rhine here is because this point's just too open. Look at how many angles you have to contend with. Look at this high ground. Rhine's gonna be like fucking horrible here. Shock learned it in May. Well, like at least with Orisa though, at least with Orisa, you can control the high ground a bit better. You can at least like provide some threat to the angle, and like you're pretty brawly. Like you're brawly enough. You don't need like Ryan's like the greedy pick, and I'm gonna use this term a lot. Like I like to use this term a lot. Ryan's like the greedy pick. Like Ryan does a lot of damage up close, but only up close. If you're like beyond like a 5 or 6 meter range, like if you can get those insane corner swings or whatever, then Ryan's basically like the Ryan's only source of damage is like Fire Strike. Don't like please don't even like tell me that like Pin's like a great damage ability. Well, unless you're unless you're Bumper and you can and like you have mastered your left shift. So yeah, like that's why they're running Orisa instead of Ryan here. It also has to do with the fact that like Orisa can kind of provide a threat to these high grounds. So yeah, there's that. And finally, when you're running Kree, you really like it's really beneficial. Just try I just gotta charge into their spawn. I don't well like in a lot of cases, like actually like the best way like a lot of teams like for example on Havana, like amateur, like more amateur teams, like players have been learning, like players have been learning. But it used to be that like teams when they play like Ryan on Havana, which is a bit questionable, but like they just like hold like really far, like they just hold the corner when like and like spawn camping was taboo. I'm kind of glad that like spawn camping has become less taboo because sometimes the spawn is like the best choke you can hold. Well, not in this map because like there are like two ways to break out of this choke. But like on maps like Havana, pretty good, pretty good. There's only like, there are three ways to break out of Havana, but like all of the chokes are like pretty far from each other, so like it's kind of hard to like make use of them. And you can get pretty good spawn holds on Havana. One thing I would like to see, like not with Rhine, but I want to see like teams hold close more on Gibraltar because normally like teams like play around blue box and that's good. That's like the standard option. But like when they play against heroes like sometimes like teams like they're playing like Winston, Diva, like Tracer Sombra, and the enemy's running like a Widow and or like Mercy Pocketed Ash, and like one of the ways that they could take advantage of that is just that hold close. Don't even give them like the first corner. You just hold close. You just like hold like you have a lot of high ground to use. You have like those angles to use, and even though like the blue box hold is like really reliable, I kind of want to see the close holds. Like I know like Team CC did it once, like in contenders. I'll probably show it after, but I know that Team CC in contenders like they held close on Gibraltar. They're like one of the only teams that I've saw actually like did the close hold, and they did quite well. They held for like 3 minutes, like pretty close. They didn't even let the cart reach like blue box for 3 minutes, and like the enemy just I think they were able to actually regroup for the blue box fight. So, anyways, enough of like talking about other matches. Let's talk about like the namesake of this stream. So right here, we're kind of seeing like Fusion. Like Fusion would want this point to be unlocked, but like it isn't. So what Fusion is gonna do is Fusion wants to play more low tempo. Fusion doesn't want to co commit too many cooldowns because like this isn't the main fight. Fusion are literally just playing the waiting game. So Fusion want to play like a more economical like style. So Hotba doesn't want to use DM, like too much DM at least, like not more than necessary. Mono doesn't want to like use Fortify. Shockwave doesn't want to like get cooldowns force necessarily, and like you don't want to like get in more force necessarily as well by like just standing in the open, allowing yourself to be spammed. So right here, Fusion are gonna want to play passive, but not like fully passive. Shockwave wants to be taking an angle to try to like keep Profit like out of like in check. And right here, what Carpe wants to do is Carpe wants to put pressure on Marvel, mainly put pressure on Marvel because you can't go for this Ana, and Fitz actually went Sim to teleport this Ana to the high ground. So you can't really go for this Ana. But what you can do is you can like look to rotate around here. I think Carpe is playing on the wrong flank actually, but I think Carpe should be looking to play here. But like ideally Carpe wants to be putting pressure on Marvel and like forcing Marvel back to somewhere where like he's less of a threat because Ball's a character that gets a lot of value by being in the right positions. And why is that? Because a ball here is really, really, really annoying. Like, you're just gonna get spammed out a bit. You're gonna keep looking at ball. Ball is going to like roll through. Ball's gonna force out cooldowns and stuff. Ball is going to like punish like some of your players for being split. And like you don't want that. You don't want Ball to just like be in your back line. And like even if Ball isn't doing too much damage, he draws a lot of attention because there's that threat of the pile drive. Once Ball like you has used pile drive like unnecessarily, for example, then Ball's no longer too much of a threat until like he has pile drive back. But like just the threat of the pile drive is enough to make Fusion like think twice about taking unnecessary risks. So like what? So let's look at what Fusion are doing right now. So Fusion are actually going to commit. So and like they use Halt, and it looks like since Carpe's taking this angle, like the reason why I think they're committing is because Carpe's taking this angle. And it looks like Fusion are actually want to press W into this and try to kill Creative. Which is a fair shot, but given that like this comp has low vertical mobility, I don't think it will succeed. That being said though, That being said, there is a problem with how Dynasty are playing this. That does not allow them to punish this play. Look at where like Marvel's playing. Marvel's playing in such a bad position. And like like sure, like he's behind, but like he's not in a position where he can actually like put pressure on Fusion as they try to advance into Dynasty's like backline. They aren't. So like, and you see like good balls like Gaga, Fate. That's like the only two really good balls in Overwatch League, I think. Like you see those like balls, like they keep putting pressure, they keep shooting on the flank. They just like I'm just gonna rest a bit. I don't want to get poked out. I don't want to like get poked out, but at least I'm distracting the enemy. And then once I got out some baited out like some cooldowns, I'm just gonna look for roll through opportunities, and then like eventually, once I find the opportunity to burst down the enemy with profit, like in this case, Mar wants to burst down with profit, then I'm going to boom, pile drive. I'm just going to like brawl, but right here, let's take a look. Take a look at what happened. So we see the pull, and but like look at this comp's like lack of vertical mobility, and like only Diva is like really able to reach up there, but like this is still good play. And why is that? Because like there's nothing to punish this. There's nothing to punish this. Like Marvel like should have been like over here, and to use like point side, they should be putting pressure like from here, so that Prophet can just like can kind of like like so like Prophet can just like use his ability like E ability in, and then like like try to burst down or like put pressure from the sides, especially like Diva needs to be like up here even to do damage, so this side is just vulnerable. But and like if Dynasty do that, they actually have a good chance of getting a pick, and like that would be pile drive opportunity. But right here, look at what happens because there's no pressure being applied to Fusion. Fusion can like put all their attention on trying to poke out Creative and Fits, and look at what happens. This forces 2U to peel. This forces 2U to peel. Like look, like the pull combo. Oh shit, I'm scared. I need to peel for my backline, and like now Dynasty are in a bad position. And why is that? Because Marvel's like obviously looking for a pile drive opportunity. Like, you can see, like he's even rolling all the way back here to just get like a clean pile drive. But if 2U's not there, then 2U has to fly from main, and that's bad. 2U's gonna like get a lot of damage done. Like, I mean 2U's gonna get like poked out really hard. Like 2U's gonna be hit like 200 HP and has to use a lot of DM just to get in when 2U wants to be here or even like here and wanna like try to dive Fusion from an angle. So, like, by forcing 2U into a really bad position, like, over here, Dynasty have now, like, I think Dynasty, like, have a really good chance of losing this fight.
The objective is now active.
So, like, Now, let's take a look at the micro of Marvel's Engage. This is too low. And, like, when you're playing ball against heavy CC, you need to, like, grapple higher. You need to grapple, like, this. So that, like, you can't just get bashed and, like, stunned easily. You need to approach... Like, you're approaching from an angle, like, sure, but if you approach from an angle and from, like, a higher position, then it's gonna be better for you. It's less likely you're gonna get stunned, dashed, and whatever, and you're actually gonna get the power drive through. But since Marvel, like, grappled from such a pathetic angle, look, he's just awkwardly stuck in here. Let's look at how 2U... Let's look at 2U, though. Look at where 2U had to fly from. Like, there's no access to the backline. And, like, sure, Shockwave is 1 HP. But, if D.Va isn't, like, at a good angle, D.Va can't, like, effectively pressure this. D.Va needs to be approaching from an off angle. Like, imagine if 2U was closer. This would be a kill on Shockwave. But like, now Hotba is able to peel this off. Now let's look at the DPS. Let's look at how Prophet followed up on this. Wait, why isn't he using his E? Why isn't he using that, like, concussive blast? Like, that would have been, like, another... That would have, like, gotten him, like, more damage, at least. Like, despite, like, both tanks going in, and, like, there's nothing that can punish you, really. Like, Mono can't, because Mono is, like... This is blocking LOS of, like, your landing spot. So, like, why didn't Prophet, like, brawl with us? It's beyond me. Sloppy. And also, I don't think Prophet's might not be, like, top, like, far, so... Like, sure, Prophet's insane on, like, a lot of heroes. Probably not far, though. And...
Don't waste my time.
And right here... Fitz made a mistake, like, 5 seconds, like, actually 8 seconds ago, that could have impacted this team fight. So right here, look, he threw dynamite. He threw dynamite. It's as simple as that. When he knows that, like, Marvel's going in. Like, he threw dynamite, like, before the engage. He didn't throw it during the engage. And, like, combining, like, when you're playing, like, you know, a comp with good burst potential, you want to be saving your burst abilities for, like, when your team's actually trying to burst down enemies. And, like, forget about, like... And it's not necessarily, like, sure, this is, like, a dive hop, kind of, but, like, I prefer, like, just to call it, hey... But, like, dive, even though, like, relies on burst, like, that isn't the only thing that dive can do, so I like to call this more of, like, this is more of, like, a poke comp with, like, good burst potential. Because you have the Pharah, you have, like, the dynamite from Ashe with a pocket, which is a lot of damage, and you have Ball. So, like, when you have, like, a lot of those burst heroes, you want to be combining your abilities to, you know, actually burst down someone. And in this case, Fitz threw the dynamite way too early. So right here... So Fitz is... During this poke phase... Why? Why? You're gonna get... Your team's gonna get, like, Nano, and then we're just going to int in. So dynamite after and... Yep, exactly. Because, I think that's one of the things... I think that's one of, like, the big mistakes that Ashe... Don't we want... When you want to, like... Not after the engage, just, like... No, just, like, ignited, like, during the, with power drive, yeah, but Fitz is just, like, not timing it well. So, like, so, like, when you're doing burst damage, like, with abilities like Stickies and Dynamite, like, you want to do it, like, just with the power drive, like, with the Winston engage. With Winston, like, you probably want to do it slightly after, just so your Winston can do, like, soften up the enemy a bit, but like, with Ball, you do it with the power drive. The only problem is that, like, Fitz doesn't look like he's really like putting much thought into it. Like you see, this is like a bad dynamite, and it's made even worse by the fact that like he knows Diva's here. Diva's just gonna eat it. When like you could have had like a nanoed Pharah, you could have you know, a ball going in. You could have like Diva like approaching from here, and like that would be like such a bad dynamite. It would have like destroyed them. So like and like dynamite usage is something that I think it's the next big improvement that like a lot of like professional Ashes even can improve their play because dynamite used to be a hey. It's Dynamite used to be like something that could get kills on its own. Dynamite used to like do so much fucking damage and like yeah, but eventually Dynamite got nerfed a bit, and even though Dynamite's still good with a Mercy Pocket especially, you really have to like treat it as like the burst ability that it is. So so like even though like Dynamite is kind of like a damage over time, so I would be okay. Um oh yes, yeah, yeah, like oh I like to oh, sorry, just got excited. Oh yeah, like so so like I've watched a lot of Ash players. I've watched a lot of Ash players in Owl and I study them. And the the breakpoint nerf makes Dynamite yeah, like a lot more important. Or like in general, like combining like Ash's like kit with other damage because Ash like isn't as consistent on getting kills on her own. Like Ash isn't just like a Hanzo where like Hanzo can just doink, or Widow who can just like doink, and that Ash is more like slightly more team oriented than like both Widow and Hanzo because Ash does consistent poke, but consistent poke isn't going to do that much if your team can't follow up on it. If your team can't like take advantage of like the brawl phases that your like poke can potentially unlock for your team. Oh, not having studied them closely, Lip, and Shy. Oh yeah, like Kai is like the kind of like the original Ash. Like during like 20 like season 3, Valiant they played like the Ash Torp combo like in Double Shield a lot, and they kind of like defined like the meta for like a month, I think. But Kai was one of the first players to really unlock the power of Ash and not just play her like a shitty Kree. Um, and Lip, I haven't watched a lot of Lip, but Shy definitely. I'd say like, I'm gonna say this. I think Shy's the best Ash in the world right now because Shy knows. I've reviewed Shy on like stream before, but Shy is really good at like changing angles. Shy is really good at using Ash's like cooldowns well. Shy like generally like knows how to follow up with aggression from his team, and Shy is just like someone who really like plays Ash. Like it sounds simple, but I can tell when players aren't comfortable in Ash just by watching 30 seconds of their gameplay because like if they're not comfortable in Ash, they're just gonna like do this. Spam, spam, spam. Oh shit, there's a target. Let's ignite the dynamite. I don't even know I can ignite dynamite. Well, Kai played Ash before the animation quality of life changed. Oh yeah, like Kai's like the mirror of Ash, and and like also like shout out to like the Valiant's like coaching staff last year. Like they were pretty well, like they found like they just I think they were the team that discovered that Ash was actually better than like people thought. It wasn't just a shitty Hanzo or Widow or McCree. Shy versus DM versus an early season. Yeah, like I watched DMs like Ash a lot. Um, like during like May, and it didn't impress me. It didn't impress me. Like sure, DM hit shots, but DM like would just literally like stand in one place, and despite like the dive tanks rotating like near his position, he just stay there, and then like boom, he just gets dove, he just gets focused, he peaks at the wrong times, like a lot of like mistakes that he does on Ash. So like I might I might actually like do an Ash review after like this round. I'm gonna this is like only part one. This is gonna be like a multi-part series, so to speak. But I'm going to try to like stream more often as well. But right here we're going to we're gonna see like this bad dynamite. Like literally just wait like several seconds and boom, that would be a lot of burst for your team. Um, and let's take a look at this engage. Why? I don't even have to explain why this engage is bad. So like but I'll explain anyways because sure. So right here, like first like don't excuse the fact that they're like literally trying to burst down Marissa and Diva. Like these are potentially I'd say like Diva's like the single hardest target to burst down in the game. Like Diva can literally just fly away, use defense matrix, and why? Why? And Orisa is like really hard to burst down with Fortify. Like, sure, forcing out Fortify is like good, but like, are you really like what? What is Dynasty doing? Like literally, they just spend 2 more seconds trying to set up the fight. They send to you on to this angle. They have Carpe's doing a good job marking this angle, so like Marvel can't really utilize this angle as well. So, but like at the very least, let's look at how Marvel like engaged with this. Look at like okay, let me change Let's actually oh, I forgot what the setting was. But oh, I'm already on ultra low latency. Just worried. Um, but right here, like they could have like sure I think Marvel was afraid of like the brig, but like Marvel could have like went full right side. There's quite a bit of cover to you, so you won't just get poked out. Even if you do get poked out, you have this. But like Marvel should be engaging from this angle, grappling high, and then like when like Marvel starts the pile drive animation, we have Prophet approaching from like this flank maybe, or with the nano, or like even from main. But like we just need the angles. Soul just need the angles. Soul just need like Marvel to engage from behind. 2U needs to be like over here. But like because they didn't engage well, they don't have any backline access. So like they're just engaging tanks. It's not even that they're like it's not like target focus or anything. It's just that like they're not in the right position to actually focus the right targets. And like literally the front line just tanks everything while like Shockwave just does this. Like in like the many like games I've coached, this is one of the most pathetic dives I've ever seen. I'm sorry, Soul. You're gonna need new coaches next season.
Howdy. Hello.
So yeah, like given how much like talent on Soul, like they really shouldn't. They really shouldn't be like struggling. Like Prophet's obviously insane. I can say that Soul's main tanks are Gestures washed, except on Hog. 2U's decent, but like even a DPS line of Dynasty, like they should at least be making playoffs. So anyways, enough like ranting. Let's continue. So right here we see like Dynasty. They have like a lot of ults coming up. They have the Barrage, and like what Dynasty want to be doing? Like Dynasty should be tracking. Oh shit! Oh shit! Like Fusion have High Noon, so they have a couple options. First, Dynasty could play like really slow, and like the High Noon wouldn't matter as much because you'll be playing more carefully. You'll be using cover, but like the problem is you won't be making use of these ults really well if you're playing slow. So Dynasty are like saying, hey, we want to like find that like burst of well, find that minefield barrage combo. Well, it sounds cheesy, but if they can like minefield and force out a lot of like cooldowns and stuff, then it's gonna make it easier for Dynasty to play aggressive in general. So like they want to be using these ults and they want to be like just going in aggressively. So But like in that case, the big priority for like Dynasty is to force out Shockwave. But let's look at Marvel's Micro again, because Marvel's Ball Micro hasn't impressed me. So right here gets a boop. Why? You can tank a solo Kree. You have 600 HP. And even if you, like, it's no big deal if you take like 200, 300 damage. You take the health pack here, or you could even roll around and take the Mega here. Sure. And then you just like, boom. Power Drive. Easy. And then you get like a lot of adaptive shield, like, HP. But like Marvel just like blew his 15-second cooldown on a single free. But at least he's forcing out Shockwave. And Shockwave's now in a worse position. So at least we have that aspect, but let's look at this Bob. Why? So sure, you're gonna be putting point pressure. Like, I'm not even gonna mention that Fitz just threw his Bob off the fucking map. Why? What? Overwatch League, by the way. Overwatch League. Sorry for the beeping sound. I'm gonna turn it off right now. So, like, even if it arrives on point, like, you're gonna force mono on point, maybe, but like, they're a comp that can that is good at fighting on point, so like, they're just gonna stall it out. They're just gonna, like, use DM, like, no big deal. No big deal. Not a big deal for them. They have to sustain. They can fight on point. They kind of want to be fighting on point. Like, in general, like, fighting, like, near or on point. So, like, it's gonna be really easy for them to just, like, contend with the Bob. So, like, instead of, like, using Bob to force point, so sometimes Bob slides off. Well, let's see if Fitz lost the RNG gods. Let's see if let's slow it down. Wait, was it a boop? Was it actually a high IQ boop? I swore I saw the Bob. Wait, no, wait, what happened? Okay, we're gonna have to unleash Kefri mode here. We'll see if there's like any check. We'll see if we need to check him PC. Wait, what happened to the Bob? Oh! Oh! I should probably... Big! Alright, let's not overanalyze this. This is insane. This is full... This is peak fusion. Peak fusion. Goodbye. Holy shit. I thought it was a hold at first. Like, Mono tried to hold this, and Fusion, like, were like... Well, actually, we didn't try to hold this, but... Well, let's take a look at this again. I always enjoy seeing a good play. Right here. It was just like it was just like last minute. It was just last minute, last second, but wow. All right, so we had that insane clutch. Now, that being said, Dynasty did like kind of fuck this up in a couple other ways. Close to doing something, but oh, the Dynasty are truly cursed. Yeah, like the really like the good, like the people who are like the players who are comfortable on Brig. Like I see them like actually use their their whip shot more than just like for Inspire proc. And so like I see Legion gone, I see skewed, I see like obviously funny Astro, but I know when someone's a good brig when they don't just spam their whip shot on cooldown. That's like the one defining characteristic of good brigs. They don't just spam their whip shot. Now, even good brigs they waste packs, good brigs they waste bash, good brigs they but like good brigs don't waste whip shot. So let's take a look at the other ways that shot that like Seoul did not unlock playoff profit. So let's take a look. Wait, why did Prophet use his contested plus? What? But like that might have been a throw because like you kind of need this to actually get a good barrage angle. And like that's all what 2U's doing. Is 2U at a good angle for this? 2U's at a decent angle. Which means that like if Prophet just like got a bit closer here, and then we have like a Marvel like Pile Drive. Well, they're probably waiting the bongo out to be honest, but like that's a 10-second cooldown that you need to use to have like actually a good combo here. So destroying the bongo, but eventually, but like let's take a look at Marvel. Oh, this engagement timing. So they want to wait out the bongo, right? So like let's take a look. Wasn't the plan to destroy the bongo? Well, why not just let Prophet do this first? Like Seoul, like their biggest problem is just timing. Well, like the three fundamentals of the game are just positioning, timing, and resources. But like they're so bad at like the timing one. So the reason why Seoul are like losing so hard right here, it's not like the positioning. Like honestly, it's fine. Their resource management is kind of shit, but like their timing is just so bad. It's not comp. It's not like comp diff or anything. Like I kind of prefer this comp on this map than this. It's just not like so like how they time their abilities, how they time their aggression, how they like time their engages. It's well, they're kind of the same, like aggression engages, whatever. Because like general on ball, you don't. It's not just 100 or 0. It's 0, 2, or 100, or anywhere in between. Like you can like be putting some pressure, even if your team's like not ready to just pile drive, go in, boom. So like Dynasty are just bad at like the timing. It's literally just that. If they improved their timing, like even if their timing was, if they didn't improve anything else, if they just like actually worked on like a proper comm structure, because I kind of think this is comms issues as well. It kind of must be because like their timing, how they time their abilities is, and like aggression is just obscene, in my opinion. So it must be like some sort of comms issue as well. But like, and also like Prophet isn't really good at like taking advantage of ball engages. Like Prophet has been spamming from post for like the last literally 3 minutes. When like the really good bars like Fleta, they actually like use the kit correctly. They actually look for like these brawl opportunities where they can just like W into the enemy team. And right here, like since they messed up their initial like burst, let's actually I haven't commented a lot on like the second half of the fight. Let's see what happens. So like Fitz kills Carpe, but let's look at Soul's position right now. So Fusion have Rally, and it looks like what Fusion are looking to do now is saying, hey, we can still win this, obviously. Like we don't want to like just lose a point for free. We're just gonna like hard push on the point. We're just gonna like punish these players for we're just gonna like try to punish Ball, essentially, and punish Diva, because like they kind of didn't like coordinate really well, so we're kind of just lingering in the open right now. Without like killing anything. So like they're kind of caught out. So we're gonna like fuck it. We're just going to rally in. We're just gonna like just W into the tanks, and that's fine. Sometimes you don't need like a strat more complicated than that. And like the thing is, when Prophet sees this though, he must relieve the pressure. He must relieve the pressure from his team. But like, let's look at how aggressive Prophet was playing when they focused Marvel. Wait, did they still have ammo in the clip? Why? Like, like you can shoot these rockets, you know, like you're full HP. You can shoot these rockets, or you could even just like use your E ability in, and then like just like look for a surprise barrage while this ball's like having the time of his life. Well, like it's gonna be kind of risky because like they do have the rally armor. So Prophet probably doesn't want to int in, but he needs to at least be playing more aggressive and not reloading in the middle of like your teammate being just hard focused. Like that could have been like 1 or even 2 free like shots I could have missed. It's micro, but micro like matters at this level of play. A lot. More than like I used to like acknowledge. So because I realized like sometimes you can explain a fight really easily. Oh shit, this player made like well, no, this they rotated wrong, they engaged wrong, whatever. But sometimes like when you don't know how they lost the fight based on macro alone, you have to like get into the POVs and see, hey, did this person reload for no reason? Hey, did this person use abilities for no reason? Whatever. So now let's go on to the boring matchup. Well, at least it's Symbol, and May does add a bit of the tactical dimension. So right here, Fusion are running the Sigma, and Dynasty are gonna run the Diva, and the main difference is really Mono wants to play slow, so that Hotbed can take an angle. Dynasty want to play fast, using 2U as a vehicle to ignore map control for a bit and just push in. So like, this is the poke comp, this is the brawl comp, and that's why like don't think of brawl like as Reinhardt. Think of brawl as like the team just that wants to commit user resources, whatever, more ambitiously. So right here, Dynasty are gonna have an advantage at the start of the fight at least, because Diva's faster. That's all I have to say. So Mono wants to be playing like kind of slow. Mono's wants to be like saying, "Hey, I want to like play defensively." Mono's like should be good at this because Mono, and I just want to like make sure my backline can push up and establish angles first. And then once Hotball's on an angle, then Mono's gonna be like trading swings with Marvel a bit more. But like the guys like Fusion, they don't want to be using cooldowns that ambitiously. They don't want to be looking for Maywalls like that quickly. This is why I said that. Why? I mean, it does separate, like, the backline from Marvel, but this comp isn't, like, in a position where it can threaten Marvel. You don't have Diva, and they have Diva. So, like, you try to push into this, you're gonna receive a lot of, like, damage from micro missiles. Diva's primary fire, you're gonna receive a lot of damage. So, like, this wall isn't really that actionable right now. So I don't like this wall from Carpe. Carpe should be, instead of like looking for a wall, and it sounds small, but if you're looking for a wall, you can't poke. It's like a weaker version of like if you trans on Zen, you can't Zen in general. You can't Discord. So we're gonna see like this is kind of like a strategic error, but so how so like what so like when the Maywall drops, Dynasty want to go in. Dynasty want to say, hey, use Maywall. You can't take advantage of it. So we're going to Maywall, like, your team, and then we're just going to get that coordinated, like, push from... We're going to get this, like, you know, pincer from our Diva and, like, our core. So let's take a look. But before then, all Dynasty have to do is play patient, use a couple resources, and then brawl. Like, if you need to, like, use, like, an ability to buy time, it's no big deal.
Time to raise my APM.
So right here, I think this was a bit too early. Like, sure, it's more opportunistic. Like, Maywell's an opportunistic ability, but look at where Fitz is. This is bad communication. Like, Fitz is not here to do anything. No damage. If Marvel pushes this, they can scare Fusion, but they can't actually kill anything until Fitz comes back. So, like, the more aggressive they are, like, during this phase where they're essentially, like, almost 6v5. Like, this is bad. And look, Tuyu's feeding. Because, like, Marvel, like, isn't strong enough by himself to actually force Fusion to peel. If, once, like, Fitz, like, comes back and, like, actually pressures the Rhine significantly, then like, you're gonna have, like, some players peel off this engage. Like, you're actually gonna have, like, Sim, like, actually, like, look to punish Marvel for this. But, like, right here, this is so early that just, like, they can just push Tuyu. And Tuyu has, like, no HP.
I need healing.
At least it looked like they're a kill mono, so that was a consequence of, like, the bad, like, you know, the bad Maywall. Once you use Maywall necessarily and you don't have something you can follow up with, then it's just like using Pile Driver unnecessarily. It's just like, oh shit, you Pile Drive. Well, you're useless now. We're just gonna run over you. So, like, both teams make mistakes, have made mistakes, so this fight will be relatively equal. It's just a matter of who fucks up more. Literally. That's a brawl. That's like brawl. There's not a lot of, like, real, like, too much, like, playmaking potential. Like, actually, like, you can, like, use abilities, like, creatively. You'd have, like, some creative, like, outlets with, like, your TP, whatever, but, like, in neutral fights, like, your playmaking is gonna be, like, in like, these, like, types of, like, rollout fights, it's just gonna be, don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. Play towards your win condition, don't fuck up. And both teams have fucked up to an extent. So right here, so we traded, like, Ryan for May. That's a trade you take. But, you know, they also lost to you. So now they lost their off tank. They can't just want-on push stuff now. They have to, like, deal with map control first. Or they have to at least be putting some pressure on these flanks. If they don't, well, guess what? Guess what, like, these players are gonna do? You have to clear this angle. Like, you don't have to clear. You just need to, like, put pressure on this angle. Otherwise, bad things will happen. This looks like a disaster. Like, creative isn't doing too much. It's not like Sigma's gonna, like, chunk down your Rhine to, like, 0 HP. And no, you don't really need to be killing them 0.2 seconds faster. You already have a Sim and a Rhine. That's good enough. Focus on poking out the flanks. So right here, like, Marvel's rushing Hotba, but oh, this is so scary. Why? Well, Alarms is gonna farm. What? No! You could have been doing, like, you're now shooting Alarm. You could have been, well, Alarm did a good job of like, saving that, like, left shift cooldown, but I know Creative does not do that. For a fact, that's for sure. You want to see, like, a bad left shift? Damn, left shift usage is... Why do Overwatch League players, they do not know how to use left shift? They just throw it out. How is it already on cooldown? The fight hasn't even fucking started. Okay, it's not this fight. I think it was somewhere. I watched like the second round of it of this match. Why? All right. Okay, enough molding. let's take a look. So like that fight, they didn't clear their angle. They got punished. Map control. Remember the fundamentals of this game. It's not anything complicated. Like Dynasty are not losing the fights because of like some complicated like. Yes, yes. Holy fucking like. Oh no.
Regen up.
Oh, there's a Maywall in front. It's not like you're gonna take any damage. There's a Maywall and it's bad. What? Like BAP left shift usage is still like bad. It's not. It hasn't changed since May. There are some BAPs who use it better than others. Like alarms, like better, I guess. Like we saw alarm like have left shift for that like the end of the first fight. So at least that's good. At least that's good. But like if you use left shift, I think teams should be tracking this a bit more. Well, like once teams start to like punish bad left shifts more, like it does already. Well, like when left shift actually like, well, like when it had I do hear an argument that like bad left shift is useful for like helping your team maintain map control, but alarm is the best battle in the world. I haven't watched a lot of like his play. I think that's gonna be like one of the next on the list. Alarm's really good flex support. I watched a bit of Shu as well, and in my opinion, I think Shu's like one of the problems. It's still like his left shift is still a bit suspect sometimes, and sometimes like his micro with like heal shoot is well, like the weaving is sometimes not that good. So Shu is but like in general, Shu's like one like definitely one of the really good ones, but
Regen burst.
I have to watch more Alarm. But to be honest, I haven't like all of the BAPs I have watched. I haven't been like, oh shit, this is like fearless as to Winston. This like player is the BAP. I haven't been like impressed that much, and I think players will eventually reach that level. Like maybe like some like tier 2 players they have like some really good BAP, and then like you know I remember Spal talking about BAP shift usage in his position shifted a bit. I saw what you did there. After talking to a lot of top level flex supports, because it makes micro easier when you have to flick heal. Um, that is valid. That's valid, but honestly, like I think that's a bit of an. I think like those top level flex supports are just excusing their bad left shift usage. And why is that? Because it's a 15-second cooldown. And like the amount of healing / damage you lose is inconsequential to like the 15 not I don't yeah, I think it's 15 seconds. Oh, it's 13. My bad. It's 13 seconds. But like a 13-second cooldown even, that's like saying, "Hey, well, like those top level flex words like saying, "Hey, like I'm playing Winston. I see I have no armor. I'm just going to bubble for no reason, even though I'm not taking any more damage." That's probably a bad analogy. My bad. What's another analogy that I could use for this? Oh, it's like using Hog Breather because like on a shot you once. To be fair, my positioning alarm has to do with positioning and map usage. I haven't studied his shift usage. Um, it's definitely one of the more subtle things that I notice, like between like good and bad maps. It isn't immediately punished, and like teams don't track left shift. Well, not a lot of teams track left shift and try to punish plays based on it. When I hear like comms even of top teams, like I don't always hear like BAP no shift. I don't hear that a lot, but I think teams should be like kind of like punishing that a bit more once. And like here's the thing with like Overwatch in general. Players get better when like there's a challenge in front of them. So like life in general. So like if left shifts aren't getting punished, then there's little incentive to actually improve it. But once teams are realizing, hey, this Bab used left shift for no reason and then look to take like an aggressive, like no need flank. We just have someone focus Bab. We just have Diva focus Bab. And like even if we don't kill him, we're gonna force out Im or we're gonna force out Diva like to peel for Bab. Like I think that's how like teams should be looking to punish this more. So like as like a cooldown that they should be tracking and like punishing because the 13-second cooldown, you have a lot of time to punish it. So I think that while there's like a small, I think that while it's sometimes okay to use left shift just to like heal like DPS who are like kind of like sometimes it's good because like you could be when your team's like critical and like you have like some DPS like 100 HP, you don't have to like waste like valuable healing shots for them. But in any case, like that's when you traditionally be using left shift when your core is like battered. I think it's still suboptimal to use shift early unless forced. Not necessarily fight losing if you can take advantage. You're gonna have to. I sometimes I think that Baps they just use it unconsciously, honestly. And there are some Baps who know how to tier that line. Like they know like, hey, it's okay, it's useful for healing our Hanzo or like our putting a lot of pressure on the flanks. It's useful for sustain, but all in all, like when I see Baps use left shift, they're literally just looking at a Maywall. and, and like they're not noticed. They don't even know that like they have DPS on the flanks. So you can just focus on shooting frontline and shield. Um, like sure. Like that's like forcing out. If you can take that cooldown trade, like you can like heal your DPS and you can like shoot shield or whatever, force out those like cooldowns. Then it might be worth a 13-second cooldown. And then like BAP left shift isn't a really good cooldown in general. Like it's consequential, but it isn't good. But like I'd say like the highest value use of bat left shift would be like actually for personal aggression. Like you take an angle like just before the brawl phase starts. You take an angle, you shoot, and then like after like the brawl phase starts, you go back to your team, you left shift, you heal any damage you take yourself, and then you heal also like heal your team. So I think that's like the like number one like usage like for like BAPS is to use it as like just pre-brawl phase to both do poke damage and then like use it to heal yourself and your team. I think personally, I think that's like the like best usage of that left shift. Like I could be like it could be like kind of sketchy in some cases, but like I've thought about it a lot and like I think like when BAPs do that, I think that's like when the left shift gets the most value. So let's take a look at this fight. So right here, we see Carpe do a questionable Maywall again. Now, let's slow this fight down. Oh shit, my bad. Accidentally skipped too. Happens, my fingers are a bit finicky. Oh, this is when, let's take a look, though. So we have this bad Maywall. I mean, it does buy, like, Fusion a bit of time, but on the other hand, this Maywall is a disincentive for Dynasty to just barrel into the enemy team. That being said, Fusion have the ult advantage and the poke advantage. A big one. So, like, Dynasty have to play this really careful. If they stand in the open for too long, not only are you gonna have to focus, like, not only is, like, the sim wall gonna get a lot of value, but also this window. But, like, if Dynasty play this right, they play slow, but, like, cautiously outside LOS, and they like, play, like, somewhere, like, a bit more, like, not in the open, and then they just try to farm like a sim wall, and then they use it to win fight. That'd be better. All right. So you use like your Maywall. I'm okay with that actually. I'm okay because it gives me an opportunity to like maybe like play closer to cover. Maybe you can eventually back up a bit. And let's take a look what happens though. like right here, I think they should be like trying to shut down the LOS here. They should not be playing here. Like look at the amount of poke that you can get. Like if Alarmist pops window, this is so juicy. And 2U has DM. 2U's and like Hotba's like taking like a really aggressive off angle. I like this.
Let them up.
That being said, he was a bit too far from the fight to begin with. Well, was it a really aggressive off angle or like he just got booped off? He just got booped off. And like he really shouldn't be like off angling here because like this is kind of like if you're Brian's pushing this way, you angle this way. Okay, let's see what Hotbo is doing. Like without Hotba here, like Seoul could literally just push this. Like even like those fits have TP. Like they couldn't like they shouldn't be playing here to start, but they could be playing here. Oh shit, Hotba's like not doing anything. We're just gonna TP in and then we're just gonna like brawl. But like let's see if but like right here they just decide to stand in the open. Their teleporter is still placed in spawn instead of like using it. Well, they had to commit their TP here, but Fitz should be destroying this, by the way. And it's not gonna get much use. But like they get their sim wall, but like Dynasty have already like Fusion already have put a poke advantage. Like look at how much HP and look at how much like look at like the status of like Dynasty's like cooldowns. No shield, no amp, no left shift, but you know that was wasted. Well, Dynasty still have like the cooldowns, but they don't have the shield advantage. And that's gonna be big. That's big. Because like they don't have any, like many means to close the distance onto this window. Sure, D.Va can DM, and that's probably what D.Va should do, but during this mid fight, Marvel isn't gonna have too much to work with, so that's bad. But right here, they're just waiting in the open. And look at this. Fusion are just gonna push this poke advantage really hard. And sure, Prophet has wall. He should be looking for wall. Wall. Don't play the wall. I mean, he might be trying to look for the perfect wall, but it's gonna be hard. You can't peek this anyways. Unless, like, D.Va's here. Or, like, if you're looking for a wall, just have DM place the wall. And eventually, boom. Sure. So, let's look at what Mono did here. How did Mono, like, die? Damn, these brawl mirrors are a lot of micro details. So right here, you have a shatter. I want to see, like... Oh, Hotba dropped again. Well, like, you want shatter? Why not... oh, there's a wall there. Why not, like... Well, why not... Well, what is this wall? Oh. Wait, why did Carpe wall there? Sorry for, like, the long analysis, but, there's... Oh, it's a window, but... Oh, the window was pointing this way, sure. But, like... Still gonna be really greedy to shatter here, like, stabilize a bit. Like, you can do it. Like, Dynasty's, like... Me might be afraid of the Mabel, sure, but Dynasty aren't really in a good position to attack this. Like, you gotta pick on fits. You can play patient. You can just stand here instead of looking for greedy shatter. Just stabilize and then push in. Okay, let's so Mono dies, but let's see if Dynasty still managed to fuck this up. Alright. You're in such a good position. Like, you're gonna have a beat. And then, like, so they're rushing down, like, the Sigma and Sim, but do you? You need to be dealing with this. Someone needs to be poking out this angle. Or at the very least, like, you could even, like, fucking... Well, we could even, like, fucking speed this way, sure. But why? Why is everyone just bum rushing? Like, they're already dead. It's a 5v2. You don't need a 5v2. All you need is like a 4v2 and one person dealing with this damn angle on behind. With map control. Map control. It's a fundamental of the game, but sometimes, like, I mean, a lot of the time, like, it's just fundamental issues that
Serves you right.
cause teamfight losses. And look, they just fucked it up. They just fucked up their like perfect team fight. Oh, like, it would have been so good if they just stabilized a bit. Even they should have stabilized a bit probably, but I mean, they're already stable. Or you could just, like, even go for beat. You could even go for beat and beat engage. I'd be okay. But, like, why? No. No. Soul. No. Bad Soul. It's just like they didn't clear that angle. Literally. So, right here, Dynasty are just... I mean, Fusion are just gonna win this again. So, Soul do get to rotate this way. So, they do get kind of out-rotated. Let me see what happened. Were they scouting? Or Fusion scouting the rotate? They have Alarm scouting it. It looks like Fusion are just deliberately trying to play like, you know, deliberately allowing Dynasty to get off the choke. And honestly, like, after looking at their ults, I'm okay with it. Well, you don't get... Well, it's gonna be harder to get back of this Blizzard if you're not holding here, but they have... They want to play around, like, the Sig ult, then let them. Yeah, so Anomal's probably gonna beat this, but let's take a look. Let's take a look if they're making use of it well. So they're kind of stuck in the open. Hotba, like, takes this angle. Hotba takes a really, like, neat angle. I like this. And, like, Dynasty are just looking to say, hey, we're not gonna allow you to just poke us out. We're gonna, like, look for this. We're just gonna alpha. We're just gonna, like, TP alpha. Boom. Oh, but... And, like, they get a flank shatter. Unfortunately, they have beat to, like, do it, and like right now, let's take a look though. So, this is gonna be a problem. So, like, Soul can still win this. They have the Blizzard. They don't have beat, but I mean, they are gonna beat as well. Oh shit. No. They used the beat, my bad, I forgot. So they can still, like, they can still win this, and they have the Blizzard, but this needs to be dealt with. Hotman needs to be dealt with. What did I say? How did Astro... Where did Astro get a kill from? Astro needs to be dealt with. Well, you know, one DM can deal with these two. But they don't. Sure, the Flux was fat. The Flux was fat. That's probably the main reason why Fusion won this fight, but Dynasty, like, lost their only chance by not marking Hawk, though. Alright. Final fight. So right here, Fusion have the poke advantage, so they're gonna let them come out of the choke again, and they're just gonna play for a window. So, right here, Fusion are forcing the point. I mean, not Dynasty are forcing the point. But because, like, they're so... This Fusion have so much percentage, I think Dynasty do have to, like, drop onto point. Like they could put 2 and have like 5 players clear this high ground. Okay, what is this TP by the way? They could try to like clear the high ground, which ideally would be the good option because like you don't want to play under a window like
Order
that.
is restored.
Haven't been impressed by
Teleporter
Fitz' Sombra.
online. Open to the path.
So they use teleport for this. Maybe they place one they could just teleport onto like fusion here. That would be better. But like, it'd be really awkward. It'd be such like, look at Marvel. Boom, dead. So, fine. Okay, they get the flip, but is it really gonna matter? No. And yeah, so GG's Dynasty, no more playoffs profit. But holy shit, this is so hard to watch. Anyway, I'm not looking forward to like the rest of the series, even though I'm still gonna do it. So let's. What else should I review? So we have the play-in games. Let's do a POV review actually. Let's go review one round before I'll take a break, but
Ready for battle. Greeting.
review some nice Ball Tracer Sombra. Right?
3, 2, 1.
Alright. We're gonna see the Ball Tracer Sombra versus the Talon Dive. So right here, Dreamer's playing here. And like, okay, I think Dreamer can be a bit more greedy with this positioning. So, like, you know their team's here. I think Dreamer could potentially even look to drop to point and like just take this angle. Because like, if you get hacked, there's a lot of distance you have to cover, and like your team's got to have an easier job punishing it because long sight line. You have a Zen. This is way too passive. What is his impact in this fight? It's 0. Oh, he's spy checking, sure. But like, he could easily be taking somewhere like in like a position where he can just like, you know, even just poke a bit. Like sure, like this might. Sure, this is scary. Again, and now he's playing here.
The objective is now.
And now he's taking a more greedy angle, sure. This is gonna be a bit dicey though, so. Because like if you get hacked here, then you can just really easily be like isolated here, so yeah, but at least it is a good angle, sure. Okay. No, Dreamer. You shoot them a bit. You put some poke pressure. You force them to at least look at you, and then like you can pile drive. You don't need to be in ball form. So like this looks like this is like the feeling when your coach asks you to play ball but doesn't teach you how to play ball. Nope, Moira. It's hard to hit, but like poking out Moira will force out CDs more. And he gets hacked. Did not. So right here, okay. So okay, what is he doing? So he's looking to pile drive. So he's aiming to like go for. Wait, what is he doing? Like if he wants to like disrupt the dive, he can pile drive. He will probably get hacked, but hopefully you have Piggy denying the hack for you. Or like if you want like play more disruptive, you probably don't want to boop this monkey in, but if you want to play more disruptive, you can like roll like you roll all the way up to here and then you can try to like boop the dive tanks out. Or like at least you can just boop them, you can just like try to circle around maybe here and just boop them off the high ground, for example. Like do something. But if he like, but like they're on your backline now. You have to do something. You need to like commit. You need to commit like pile drive or at least disrupt the dive a bit. Okay, so someone should have said assassin was here, by the way. Like once Piggy like has stopped marking assassin, he needs to be telling Dreamer that like there's a Sombra here. But on the other hand, Sombra like looks like Dreamer wants to be Paul driving here. But in this case, why doesn't he just stay on the high ground, shoot a bit, and then you can just Paul drive from high ground, safer. There's no like grapple animation you have to like wait out. No, no. Oh no. Chat. Rep. Okay. So now we're going to see.
System initialized.
And I don't. Are they still fighting this? Okay, so I'll drive. Okay, if he's on the high ground, he can poke a bit. Okay, so like your backline's kind of dead. That being said, I'd probably look to play a bit more defensive and like just look to like put some poke pressure on Decay. So flex support's dead, and like Dreamer's on position where he can actually like can just go for Decay, and can focus Decay with Piggy, force out like those blinks and recall potentially. But right here, it looks like Dreamer's like staging for this like one big dive, but so where's the why? No, what is he doing here? Okay, I don't know what Decay was doing there as well. Like, since your team's backline is going to rotate to here, and like, there's no reason to be here. Like, play somewhere a bit more aggressive. Like, maybe like if you're good, do this, then roll all the way to here, maybe. Okay, poking assassin a bit, sure. Okay, well, why is he trying to 1v1? This is like, this is so fat. Is Assassin really that big of a threat right now? And even if he has EMP, you're... Okay, so probably like he was worried about EMP to be honest here, but like Mag's dead. So what? Like you can just put your Zen somewhere and like Zen transits, everything's happy, but like this is so fat. Like they're really on low ground. They have no cooldowns. They should just push that cooldown advantage to win. They don't need to play defensively. Why? Okay. So you kill Assassin, great. But, sure. Okay, so... So right here, both sides have EMP. So not sure what the plan it looks like here. It looks like Outlaws are wanting to use their defensive ults to try to like absorb the aggression before countering with an EMP of their own. So in this case, Dreamer shouldn't be here. Dreamer should be like, hey, let's take a look. Dreamer should be in the... Dreamer should honestly be, like, keep putting pressure, like, keep slowing down the fight, so that, like, there's a chance that your team just, they don't even get to EMP, they just, like, poke, you just get to, like, poke their team enough that you can just engage with your own EMP, for example. But, like, since they're playing defensively here, all Dreamer has to do is play more of, like, the Mark Assassin game. Just annoy Assassin as much as fucking possible. Don't roll back. You're not useful here. And like from here, like even if Assassin like looks for an EMP here, you can. That's an okay position for you to counter dive from, and use like minefield for example. What are they doing? Okay. So. So he sees these dive tanks on his backline. Just boop them off. You don't need to look for a pile drive to disrupt the dive. You can just roll. Well, like this isn't a dive console. Dive is easier to say than engage. I'm fucking lazy, I know. And like if their goal was to so right here they're playing pretty greedy with their like defensive ults.
Ability is ready.
Why don't they trans followed by rally? Like there's a lot more backline fault because they're doing like they think that rally can protect against burst damage. Okay, sure. Alright, you have grapple, you can like roll through a bit. And like, you know, you have a chance to stay in the fight, so well, he's probably more worried about that, like he's just gonna get hacked during the roll through. That's fine. Probably actually yeah, that's enough also. Unless Piggy's in well, Piggy's coming out, so sure, that's okay. Once Piggy's in, he should be looking to use his roll. And he does. Good. Doesn't want to be too greedy with it, so that's why. His rolls a bit. He sees the mortar 1 HP. Well, you don't know if this mortar has used like even fade yet. Well, this mortar hasn't used fade, but Lucio's able to consider appeal. You have no one with you. Just give it up. And your diva's like somewhere. Diva's like currently like looking to. So like a bit greedy to go for the backline though. Like wait until Piggy pushes in a bit. Okay. So right here. So pile drives? Where's the follow-up? Well, Diva's hacked, but I'm not too concerned if I were Diva and I was... Unless you have, like, there isn't even a Discord yet. Like, wait until they come out a bit in Discord. Or just poke them out. Just poke them out. You have point. Just poke them out. If they force point, that's even better. They're in the open. You just, like, shoot here, shoot, wait until they come out. They don't have that much poke, and then you just pile drive when they engage. Just punish, just counter dive. Okay, now... Okay, looks like you're gonna win this round. Sigh, these games are making me tired. Okay, anyways, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you enjoyed, like, leave a subscribe if you want to be notified when I mull over more gameplay. But yeah, anyways, peace out. Thank you everyone for watching.